We'll gather around, feel the love come down. Blue elephant is strong, together we belong. In every comment.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So we have an unboxing today from Resin Molds Express. This is the August box and I am super excited about it. First up, they obviously, you get your little thank you card. You get the instructions that tells you each one of the molds that they give you and different ideas on what you can do with them. They also gave us a light set that takes, it looks like 2 AA batteries. You get a couple mica powders. You get a hand drill set and some keychain rings. Now, I'm not entirely sure. I think the keychains are for a mold that's coming up, and I'll show you here in a minute. I think it's my best guess. Anyway, uh, so first things first, this is a picture frame. And you get the two little parts that I'm holding up here that actually have like the hole and the little thing that you can like snap it shut and put your picture inside of it. So I guess that would be cast in clear resin and then the actual holder itself. Then you get the next one is the lily dish mold, which we are going to be doing today. And I think that this is super pretty. Like, it's just really cute. Next up, this is what I think the keychains are for. And it looks like you get a unicorn, a rainbow, some mermaid tails, all the things. And then a little owl nightlight. That's what our light set's for. So that's super cute. I'm actually quite looking forward to making that as well. Then we also get the butterfly little kind of box mold. We're going to be making that today as well. You get this little, I can't think if it's a hedgehog. I think it's a hedgehog. I don't know. Little planner. And then a cicada. Not a big, huge bug person, but it's kind of cool. I'm sure it serves a purpose. Okay, so first things first, we are going to be using this butterfly mold. Now, it actually holds quite a bit of resin, almost 8 ounces if I'm not mistaken. So I went ahead and I mixed up my Bond Craftor resin, put it through or had it mixed up using my Resiners dual mixer. And I just scraped around the edges and sides. Now, what I think I want to do with this is we're going to use a little bit of Let's Resin's green interference powder. And then we're going to add some kind of medium chunky green glitter into it just to give it a little bit of a different effect. And we are going to be using the Elmer's glue hack in this and make some snot because it's the best way to keep your glitter suspended. So that's what we're going to do. Now, I do want to take note and say that the amounts of resin that you need for each piece has been fixed in this month's flyer. I also, for those of you who purchased the last month's mold, if you've got that, or not last month's mold, but the box for last month, I did put a link on the channel that on the underneath the post that has all of the corrections for that on there for each one of the molds so that you guys can access it if you have any of the molds or if you whether you bought the box or you bought them separately, just so that you know what each one holds. I figured that would be maybe beneficial to any of you that need it. All right, so quick spritz of alcohol. Now, hindsight is a wonderful thing, and I do have to say that I wish that I put my resin through my debubbler. I need to get better about doing it. Like, I have it, I need to utilize it instead of being lazy and wanting to get things done quicker because it is beneficial and it would have probably saved me from some extra work later on. But I mean, it is what it is, and stuff happens, so we're just gonna go with it. Now, when you use the Elmer's glue, it makes it like slime, right? So it's super, super thick for anyone that has not done it. Ideally, and honestly, most of it's going to depend on the weight of your glitter. Like if it's a super, super chunky mix, you may want to use a little bit more. Ideally, you're talking 1 drop of clear Elmer's glue, not the white one, the clear one, per ounce. And that gives it a pretty good consistency that it suspends the glitter. Now, like I said, if you're using something that's a lot heavier, you may have to go in and add a little bit more to keep that suspended because it will make it thicker. But I would take it a drop at a time and do it slowly. Don't add too much. Okay, back to what I'm doing. Now I'm just going around that little lip of silicone that is coming up from the top of this part of the mold, trying to get out any air bubbles that may be under there. I don't know if I didn't do a very good job or if they just rose because there was a bunch in there because again, I didn't mix or I didn't put it through my debubbler. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, that's off to this side. That's curing. Now we are going to do this plate mold. Now, I am going to use some Eco-resin in this. This one is, I think it's Kerschel. I can never remember the name of it. Ever. Like, ever. It'll be linked down below along with everything else that I have and discount codes and all of the things. Anyway, it is a 10 to 3, 10 parts powder to 3 parts water. I don't I don't measure. I just these eco powders, at least like this type. Now, I'm not saying they're all like this, but these ones are pretty forgiving that you can make it a little bit thicker, you can make it a little bit thinner without really getting into the integrity of it too much. Now, obviously, if you make it like crazy thin or whatever, then yeah, you're gonna have issues. But I know the consistency of what I'm looking for, so that's what I'm going with. I did add some black to it. Now, obviously, it's not going to be black. I didn't really add that much to it. And then I colored it gray, and then I went in there and kind of just didn't mix up the last little bit so that I have some marbling-ish in this, just so it's not one kind of plain blasé color. Now, obviously, I'm going to be painting the flowers on there, so it's going to change up a lot, but this is what we're doing now. Now, I did have some left over, so this was a mold that I just had right next to me. It's a one of the holographic molds, just the coaster mold. It was quick. My eco resin was thickening up really crazy fast for whatever reason, so I needed something quick, so we're just going to use this, tapping it within an inch of its life all the way around to prevent any bubbles and get those to come up. Get it to level out some. Eco powder does not level on its own, so you have to do it for it. You have to help it out. Okay, so next day, now it's time to demold the butterfly, and we're going to finish this guy off before we get into the next part because the next one's going to take me a little bit longer. So let's see what we got. Now, again, I didn't want to do just straight glitter, and I didn't want to do like a straight white, a straight green, whatever. So I thought that the interference would kind of just give it a little bit of extra something something. And honestly, the two things that I'm making are for my daughter's friend for her birthday this weekend. So I thought she said green is her favorite color and she likes butterflies. So that's why it's a green butterfly. But I mean, I think it turned out pretty cute. I do like the color variation that you get between using the interference and just the sparkle from the glitter. Now, the lid. This is where I ended up having a lot of issues. I got quite a few air pockets underneath the bottom, like where that lip comes over of the silicone. So we are going to have to fix those. But the mold itself, super, super cute. Just going to go around before I fix up these holes with the deburring tool just to kind of get all the sharp edges off and make it nice and smooth. And then we're going to fix each one of these little holes with some UV resin. Just real quick, I'm going to go through it kind of fast. It does take a little while to do. I've done it several times on the channel already, much slower, but just for those of you who may be new, just a brief kind of overall what it is. Essentially, something like this that you can't use epoxy to fix. Okay, let me take that back. You could. It would just be a whole thing and a lot more complicated and take a lot longer to do it that way. But you absolutely could do it with epoxy resin. And maybe one day I'll show you guys how. But for now, we are just going to use it with UV resin. So I just take a little bit and just stick it on the back of a mold. And then I take my scribe and I just get it drip by drip and put it into the holes to fill it. Now, you want to be kind of quick and have like a UV flashlight or something like that that you can hit it with your light real quick to stop it from running over the sides or any of those things. And you want to take your time and just do it one drop at a time to make it flush. You don't want to make it over and create more work for yourself and have to sand and all of the things. So just take your time. After I was done filling all of the holes, I went ahead and got my Let's Resin cordless UV light, stuck it under there for 5 minutes just to make sure that it's fully cured, and we're done. Now on to the just finishing touches for this. All I'm going to do for this is I'm just going to highlight the details of the butterfly with a gold paint pen. That's it. Super easy. I think this mold is really cute on its own. It doesn't really need a whole lot extra stuff done to it. Now, can you? Absolutely. There's so many things that you can do with this mold, but we're just going to go kind of simple because the next project is not going to be, and I don't want to do two not simple projects in one video because it takes a lot of time. All right, I'm just going to finish this up real quick, and then I will be back when we are ready to start on our plate.
Into a bird with wings. A mop became a wig so bold. Who needs gold when you've got mold? Think it, make it, twist it, shape it. The world's a canvas, don't escape it. No need for rules, just rearrange it. Life's a game.
Okay, I'm back. I think the butterfly turned out really cute. Now on to our plate and coaster. So, demolding it. Now, I did demold this about an hour, maybe 2 hours after I poured it. So it is still very wet at this point. It's fine for what we're going to do because it's going to take me some time to do it. So it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We're not going to like go around and seal it. I'm not going to paint every single inch of this plate. So it's definitely going to have its chance to, you know, dry out and all of the things. But yeah, I mean, you definitely need to let it dry out and do that, but before you seal it completely. But we're not going to do that. But I do need to get started on it. So let's look at this. I think it's cute. Now, obviously, for this, maybe the color choice wasn't necessarily the right thing, but you'll see. You'll see. It may not look the greatest right now, but it's going to change like 100,000% before we're done. All right, going over the rough edges and smoothing it all out with my deburring tool. This is a great tool. This thing works fantastically with your eco-resins. I mean, if you can do it like right after demold, shortly after you pour it and it's cured, super easy, super fast. Now, I left this part in here because I had ideas working in my head, and this is I just wanted to kind of show you my process of, I mean, I realize it probably looks crazy to you, but just kind of sort of how I play things out and move things around to try and figure out what it is I like and come up with ideas. Now, my first idea for this was we're going to use the coaster too. We are not creating a plate. We are creating something completely different. And the last way that you saw me holding it up like that, that's what we're going to do. I'm not going to tell you what it is I'm going to make yet. I'm going to make you wait and think, and you try and see if you can figure it out before I tell you. But at this point, I'm going to bounce off. I'm just painting. I will come back when we're ready to start getting things together, and then I'll tell you what I'm making. All right, I'll catch you guys on the flip side.
To the beach, your heart invents. Paint the world in your accents. Scribble stars on the ocean floor. Open every closed door. What if you could? What if you should? What if you made the impossible good? What if you could? What if you should? What if you made the impossible good? Take a leap, spin the wheel, feel the spark, make it real. Upside down is right side up. Sip the world from a tilted cup. Take a leap, spin the wheel, feel the spark, make it real. Upside down is right side up. Sip the world from a tilted cup. Think wild, dream wide. Let your crazy be your guide. No wrong way to create. Break the mold, change the state. Take a leap, spin the wheel, feel the spark, make it real. Upside down is right side up. Sip the world from a tilted cup. Think wild, dream wide. Let your crazy be your guide. No wrong way to create. Break the mold, change the state.
Hands in resin flow, gentle colors bright. With every pore I show beauty in the light. Patterns swirl and dance, captured in the frame. In every piece a chance to never look the same. Resin dreams take flight in the calm of night. Through the daylight's glow, art begins to grow. Ocean waves in blue, mountains made of gold. Stories through and through, resin tales unfold.
Okay, so I'm back. Have you thought it? Have you thought it? Have you figured it out yet? Any ideas what I'm doing? All right, I'm about to tell you. So, what I'm going to do is I am going to create just a cute little, not picture frame exactly, but picture and kind of catch-all tray combined in one, like a picture holder, catch-all tray type deal. And then I had an idea. And I was curious because I didn't want to leave the bottom plain. I wanted to add something to it. I didn't really have anything that I liked. Like, I didn't have any UV DTF stickers that I really, really liked. But I had these iron-on transfers. And I've tried them on resin before and I made it work. So I thought, I wonder if they will work on Eco-resin. So we're gonna try that. Now, since this is for my daughter's friend, I asked her if she had any pictures of maybe the group of friends or anything like that that she would let me have and use and whatever. And she gave me one from their 8th grade dance. So that's what we're going to put in the middle. Now, I had thought, and I have like 100 ideas coming to me at one time about what we can do with this to even vary it from what I'm doing now. Before I get into that, let me just tell you what I'm doing here. Now, I I guess I don't know. I had a brain fart. Like, it's been quite a while, over a year, maybe year and a half or so, since I've done this on resin, and I couldn't for the life of me remember how it was exactly that I did it, other than I know I used a heat gun at the time, but I couldn't remember what I was using to rub it on and not burn the hell out of my hands in the process. So I tried the silicone sticks and they weren't working. So I got my palette knife and I thought, okay, well, it's metal. It'll help hold in the heat, almost like if I was putting an iron to it, but not. And I'm just gonna push it down onto this until it gets to the part where it sticks just enough that it's not gonna blow around when I put the heat gun back on it, right? And then I'm gonna use the palette knife and rub the iron-on transfer onto it. Now, at first I thought I was doing something, and I realized fairly quickly when I go to check it that it really wasn't doing anything at all. So if you're going to do something like this, you do need to heat it up quite a bit, and you have to rub it like specific areas, like you can see me doing here, kind of with the tip of it. And you can see right now, I'm going to show you closer here in a minute, but you can see right now the color difference between where I've rubbed and I'm actually like concentrating on the area and the rest of it. And that's actually where the transfer is transferring onto the coaster itself. So it is in fact working, which is fantastic. See how you can see the difference? So you know what has stuck down, what hasn't stuck down yet, you know where to concentrate on. Okay, so as I kind of finish up this part, here are some ideas that I came up with first. My first thought process before the picture was putting a mirror, like a round mirror, in between the flowers of on the plate and having it like a little mirror type dealy. It's still attached to the bottom to the coaster, and just having like the little catch-all tray type deal and whatever, just a little cute kind of vanity type thing, right? I thought would be cute. Well, the mirrors that I have aren't that small. So then I came up with the idea that we're doing today. Now, also, as I was thinking and rewatching this video and doing the voiceover, it would also look cute if you could have it attached somehow. Now, obviously, it's not going to be the way that I'm doing it. It'd have to be a different way. You can have it attached like that and have a candle. Like, you can actually use like a real candle because it's eco, and have a candle set on there and have it as a candle holder with this really pretty background. Something like that. Again, you'd have to figure out a way to attach it without using resin, which is what I'm going to use. So that's something you'd have to play around with, but I think it could be done. Okay, so found a sticker that said memories, and I thought that was really cute. Now, the way I have it right now, as you see it with memories on the side, is how the orientation that I want this to be in. And I like it. I like it off to the side like that. I think it's quite cute. So that's how I want it to be. Now, I need to cut this picture down to size so that it fits in between the flowers. I don't want it to go up over top of the flowers. I want it to fit in between. So I was looking around at my cups because God knows I can't draw a circle to save my life without it being all goofy, and I need to trace something. So I found one of my disposable cups, kind of the perfect size. That's what we're going to use. I'm just going to trace around it, cut it out, and then to attach it, what I'm going to do is I am going to use some of it's dishwasher safe Mod Podge. I don't think it necessarily matters which one you use, other than I would pay attention to whether it's matte or glossy. I know they do have both types. I would think for this you would want a glossy one, but that's what I'm going to use, and we're going to kind of almost pretty much decoupage it onto the plate. Now, I am going to go over the entirety of the plate with the Mod Podge, and that is for a couple of different reasons. One, I need the glue behind the picture, right? I also want it on top of the picture to seal it in there and make sure that it's done. Now, if I just do behind and over top, obviously I'm going to have to come onto the plate a little bit, right? And then it's going to look weird. Plus, by doing this and doing the entire plate, I'm sealing that paint job in that I did so that hopefully we won't have any issues with it coming off. So I am going to go over it now. I am trying to make it a thin coat. It doesn't need to be crazy thick. It just honestly needs to be enough to glue it on, right? And I'm trying to minimize my brush strokes. Now, in the area where the flowers were, because of the bumps, because they are, it is raised up, I did have some issues trying to get that smooth because it kept wanting to like just get a bunch of it right in the area of where the flowers are. So I did take my time to kind of smooth out around in there so that we don't have a bunch of brush strokes. Now, once I put the picture down, I wanted to work my way outwards with it. I didn't want it to move. I also don't want a lot of glue clumped up. Again, trying to minimize brush strokes so that we don't see them. Now, because of prior issues I've had with doing resin and the eco pores, I decided that I wanted to seal this in too. I don't want to have any issues with the iron transfer coming off. There were a couple spots where it's like super thin that it was kind of coming up a little bit, and I don't want it to, like, when I put the resin on, I don't want it to float up. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and seal this on. It'll still that sticker in there too. And we're just going to go around it this way. I'm not going to have to worry about potentially any air or anything like that coming up from the eco, like, because that can happen sometimes. It's just going to keep it separate. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't have any issues. I am going to go underneath the bottom part of the plate as well. Not the entirety, like just like around before you get to the flat part. You know what I mean? Like around the edges that are kind of slopey. I'm going around there with the Mod Podge. We're going to let this dry for a little while. And then after this is done drying, I'm going to put a border around the picture so it doesn't look quite so, yeah, and just rough edged and whatever. So, and then we're gonna put it together and see what happens. All right, so I decided that what I wanted to do for the border is I just got some of this. I think it's called Phantom Blue. It's a chameleon glitter by Lrisy. It's so pretty. And I thought with the purples and that's in there already, I thought this would be really, really pretty. It's like a chunky mixed glitter. So I'm just going to mix that with a little bit of my Bond Craftor UV resin. And then I am going to put the border around there, and then I'm going to let it cure. Now, I did go in pretty heavy on the glitter and light on the UV. you still need to be careful because you need it to make sure that it's curing all the way through. But I didn't want it I didn't want too much UV resin in there because I don't want it running around while I'm trying to put the border on there. And I prefer doing it all at once as opposed to having to stop and cure it in between, because then I'm not going to get just a continuous smooth finish around there. It's going to end up being like you can tell where you stopped and where you started at, because it's not going to just like level out. And do you know what I mean? Like, have you done that before? Because I know I have, where I've had to stop and cure something, and then you can't get it to sit nicely again because it just doesn't want to do that. So, yeah. Okay, cure it for 5 minutes. Now it is time to put it all together, assemble it, and see if we can make this work. I mixed up 40 milliliters of Bond Crafter's tabletop epoxy. Just need a little bit. It's a very small coaster. And I also got a silver paint pen. I'm just going to go around the edges of the coaster real quick with that before I put the top coat on there, right? Now, let's talk about this for a minute. I this part coming up, don't do what I did. Instead of being smart and putting some E6000 glue down to hold the plate to the coaster, I just did UV resin. I should have done them both. I should have done the E6000 and then the UV just to hold it in place while the E6000 dried. However, me and my incredibly intelligent self decided, oh, well, UV resin will be fine. I can just do that by itself. It'll be great. I don't think so. I think I made a really big error on this, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. But not only that, but I didn't realize until I was editing this video. Remember the orientation, that how I told you how I wanted the coaster to be? Do you see what I'm doing? I did it wrong. I did it wrong. I set up the butterflies to be in that orientation. I set up the word to be in that orientation, and then I did it all wrong. So I'm really kind of upset with myself about that alone. And then two, as I'm trying to do this and get the plate to stay how I want it to stay and cure it at the same time, it moved. I thought it was okay, and I let go, and it moved and it slipped, and then I had this bit of cured UV resin that was like all chunky, and then when I put it back down, it wasn't in the same spot. So then I have UV resin that's up pretty high that I don't necessarily want it to be. So it just became a whole thing, is what I'm saying. But yeah, I don't recommend doing it just like this. What happened was, after I I did this, I put my top coat down and I walked away. And then I'm editing the video and I hear a crash. And I'm like, what is that? I get up, I walk over, I look at my table, and sure enough, the plate fell over. Pulled up from the UV resin and all. So now I'm kind of paranoid that I'm going to do all of this, right? And what if, because the I didn't fill up the coaster the whole way, I still want it to be kind of like a little tray area. I want it to be dipped down so that you can put like rings or earrings or something like that on it and it hold it. I don't want it to be flush at the top. So the plate itself doesn't really go that far deep into the resin. So now I'm worried that because I didn't put the E6000 in there to bond it to it, just that alone, that even though the resin is going to cure around it, yes, but there's nothing holding the two pieces together other than the resin. So what if it's not in deep enough around the resin? Like, I did try to kind of push it up onto the plate, but we know resin, it's not going to stay like that. So I'm pretty worried, and at this point it's still curing, so I haven't seen the finished product yet. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to be really sad if it comes apart or it like breaks on her after she gets it or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, back to what I'm doing. Now I'm just going in there and putting in the rest of the resin. I did heat it up really well to pop the bubbles because I mixed it like a madwoman. And we're just gonna keep our fingers crossed and hope and pray that this turns out okay and it doesn't come apart, and we'll see. Now, another idea on how you could finish this off if you wanted to, you could totally do the rhinestone thing around the top edge of the coaster mold just to zhuzh it up a little bit more. Completely up to you. I'm not going to because Emma says it's busy enough. So I'm not going to add anything else to it. I had thought about adding one of those really pretty butterflies that got the flowers coming out of it, which I thought looked really pretty, but she said it was too much. So we're not doing that either. Okay, are you guys ready? Here we go. So it didn't fall over again. Thank you, Jesus. It has areas for improvement. Now you can still see where I put that UV resin, and it does come up just a tiny bit. So unfortunately, I will have to put another layer of resin on here just to smooth things out. But I think it holds a lot of potential. You could definitely do all kinds of things with it. Rhinestones, I mean, whatever. The sky's the limit with it. You just use your imagination and let your creativity just kind of flow. Anyway, that's a wrap on this one, guys. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I will see you on Tuesday in the next one. Love ya. Bye.
Is strong. Together we belong. In every comment, right? You lift me to new heights. Your support, it's clear, gives me reason to cheer. Blue Elephant Crew, this one's all for you. You make dreams come true with everything you do. Each subscriber's heart playing a vital part. Videos we share, showing how much we care. Likes and shares, they